Um, I don't know how many of you are WWE fans, wrestling. Many, my generation grew up watching wrestling thinking it was very real. Like we had people like The Undertaker, Bret the Hitman Hart, Hulk Hogan, the list goes on. Okay. Um, so even today, though we know that wrestling is pre-scripted, I still appreciate the art form, the ability to tell stories. I definitely appreciate the athleticism that these athletes know, the jumping and doing all these moonsaults and all these stunts. Uh, and yeah, it's a grind. I'll tell you, if you really um, look at the documentary of how these athletes perform and travel and try to make a living and try to remain relevant to the audience and sell merchandise and list goes on, you really appreciate what goes into creating this product. Okay, so I'm still a fan, and I think I'll always be a fan, especially given the fact that there are still some of the old timers. So one of the videos that I watched was the new channel that has been created. It's what WWE Vault. Okay, I don't know if it is. I think it's a part of the WWE. So they give you documentaries of WWE, and they have around 2.7 million subscribers. So I guess yeah, it is a part of WWE. Yeah, and they share with you documentaries of the yesteryears, which brings back a lot of nostalgia. But this particular documentary I want to speak to you about is WWE, that Triple H's documentary. The name is Full Documentary: Creation and Destruction of Triple H Road to WrestleMania 35. I mean, you really need to watch it to appreciate the amount of work this guy, Triple H, is putting into the product. From being this wrestler who he was, this young guy, always portrayed a very villainous character, you realize that that was just part of his persona. He's a gem of a human being. And I mean, as a leader, now that he has taken on the corporate position, it's unbelievable. It is, you just have to watch the documentary to appreciate and admire the work ethic that he has, the amount of effort that he's putting. Just checking if my daughter and wife has come back through the camera. Sorry. Okay. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for all these athletes. But looking at what Triple H is doing for the product, for the brand, is unbelievable. But now, this is not a video about appreciating what Triple H is doing, or as a leader, as a entrepreneur, as a uh, you know, as a CEO of the company. But rather, the fact which I've realized is I'm becoming old. I mean, when you look at these characters, these individuals, these human beings, you've seen, we have grown up with them. I remember the younger days when they were like young, Shawn Michaels was so cocky, and then now you get to see the behind the scenes documentary of what happened those days. What we thought was real was actually pre planned, how it was planned. And then you just go on a nostalgic, like a kind of a dream. And then when you see what he's become today, and you like admire the fact that you've literally grown up watching them, you've grown old with them. Like Vince McMahon, okay, despite all the controversies, all the bad stuff that they talk, from the young buck that he was to this nearly, I don't know, 70, 80-year-old man, unbelievable, yeah. And then you realize, suddenly it rings a bell that, boss, you're also becoming old. You also have evolved. You also have changed. And this is a realization only someone of my time, my generation can say or experience. And I'll tell you, it's a feeling that you can't describe. It just hits your heart. It stays there. Like when I see Triple H, the person that has become, the level of maturity, like on in 1 minute he has a meeting with his team, next minute he has to fly down to give a radio talk show, then he has to fly down again to give a, like this documentary specifically, he has to go give a speech, on in a conference, then he has to go for an award ceremony, and then immediately without rest he has to go somewhere else, and then he has to prepare for a WWE match. So the diet, the food, the regiment, the planning, and then despite all his injuries, then he has to go do something else. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of work, effort, time, dedication, discipline that they put. And then, you begin to look at your life and think that, man, I'm not even zero point zero 0.01 of what this guy is. That is why this guy deserves all the success. That's why these athletes deserve whatever glory, fame, honor, respect that we give them. And it's not just wrestling as a product, it's more like you're watching like a father figure, an elder brother, someone you have looked up to. And there are so many life lessons that you can pick up from this. For me, when I go through these WWE documentaries, it takes me back when I was a small boy and I was watching this as a just merely a spectator, believing everything that they told me, that Undertaker got superpowers, Triple H is evil, Shawn Michaels is cocky, all the stories, good versus evil, Hulk Hogan versus the Iranian Sheikh, he's from Iran, and this guy is the good guy from USA and he gets superpowers. And only to realize, man, all along they were just putting on an act. They were just telling you a story. And then you see the behind the scenes, the planning. They sat down, they talked to each other, and the sacrifice and the production value and the effort that went into creating that story or narrative. Unbelievable. And what this guy is doing today, I'll tell you, you must watch this documentary to appreciate how much sacrifice, how much work, how much dedication, discipline. You have to be the best of the best to be where he is. And, they say, some people are destined to achieve greatness. Triple H was focused right from the day he decided he wanted to be a wrestler. And what a phenomenal journey, man. I don't know, 30, 40 years, like Undertaker, keeping kayfabe for 30 years of his life, not doing any interviews, not showing the real character outside, not being relaxed, not just being the Undertaker, being that character, is nothing but absolute respect. And this is only something a WWE fan will appreciate and understand. I don't think anyone else would. I don't see this video getting many views, which I don't mind, because this is something a very small community would understand. But I had to share this. And trust me, guys, if you're someone like me, old school, who has watched WWE and still has those nostalgic memories, you will appreciate watching this documentary. It is a must-watch documentary. And it brings back memories, and you feel a part of your childhood still there. And yes, I do feel older. I'll tell you, one day, obviously, these guys will be no more. They have to die, and we all grow old and die. I'll I'll really feel a part of my childhood, a part of my so like someone like who's my family is gone, and I myself would be pretty broken. It would be hurting. It's like more than my relatives, more than my own family members. They have been such a beautiful part of my life. So I guess only old timers will understand this video and appreciate. Rest, all the youngsters will be like, "Hey, what shit, man? You see that childish nonsense? You wouldn't understand what it is." Anyway, I had to share this. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And to all the WWE fans, if you are one, not I don't watch the matches, but I just see the highlights and I see the documentary. So if you're one like me, just comment down below so I know who you guys are. And if you watch this video right up to the end, I'd be surprised. Do mention it that you're one of them. Right? Uh, Comment down below which is your favorite memory, or it's always good to listen uh, to some of our old boys. All right, you guys take care. This is me signing off. So.